Good evening. No, good morning. Good morning. We're back. Um, let's see. Do I have the? I guess I don't really need this chat up till somebody's here. All right. Ready to get the day started, huh? Hey, Wilo Gamer Pro, you're on it, man. You're here today, huh? Diet again? What? What are you talking about? Oh, first again. Yes, you are first. You were on top of it, man. You were right, Johnny on the spot. But yeah, glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. Hope your what is it? Thursday? Hope your Thursday is off to a good start. I guess it could be Friday for you, couldn't it already? I don't really know. Where are you located at, Wilo Gamer? Are you in the United States or are you abroad? Let's see. Man, Visual Studios really zoomed in. Still Thursday? Nice. Very cool. Yep. It's Thursday here, man. No complaints. No complaints at all. Although, actually, I do have one complaint. I actually am in the middle of a crisis or an emergency at the moment because there is no more coffee in my house. So at some point, I'm going to have to take a break and I'm going to have to walk down to the grocery store and buy a bag of coffee. Oh, Europe? Very cool. Yeah. We don't get a lot of people from Europe up in here. What's up, MD? How are you? You doing well? Life treating you well? Let's see. I'm going to change this to live chat too. There we go. Oh, I should probably pin a message here. See, I'm working, but sharing space with all of you. Come work with me. Happy to chat about most things, particularly coffee, code, fitness, and or why C# is the best programming language. There we go. Hello, Arvin. How are you? Hello, Ben John. How are you doing, Ben John? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Today I wasted all my day resolving Wi-Fi driver issue in FreeBSD. Wi-Fi driver issues are quite a pain in the ass. I actually just had that experience myself. I took an old, I can kind of show it to you. Let me turn the camera for a second. I guess I probably, why is this so hard to turn? So, right over there, this computer up here on the top left. Come back. Come back. That's an old MacBook Air, and I actually just spent part of my last weekend repurposing it into a Linux server, and it was a pain in the ass to get it connected to Wi-Fi. The volume level is low. Oh, is it better now? Maybe my mic was just far away there for a second. In any event, what I was trying to show you is that I have MacBook Air over there. I put Ubuntu server on it, and I had to like tether my phone to it, and then I had to install some proprietary drivers for whatever chip is on there. It's like some sort of Broadcom chip. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Hey, what's up, Suhas? How are you? Good to see you. Arvin, what a beautiful room you have. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's a nice. I mean, it's a nice room. It's kind of a mess. I still haven't quite got everything like unpacked and set up. Like I've got a box crap over here I need to still unpack. I've got all these pictures behind me that I need to actually hang up and put on the wall over here. And then I think that'll kind of wrap me up once I get that stuff all squared away. But I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys have ever moved before in your life, but there's kind of this phase in moving where you get a lot done really quickly and then you sort of start to settle, and then there's kind of always like some straggler boxes that sort of hang around. 8192 chip. I don't think so. I think it was a, let's see. I think it was like, I want to say it started with a 4. Broadcom. It was a Broadcom BCM 4360, I think was the chip. And I actually had to like, so I actually had to, basically, the package that's out available for the Debian or the Ubuntu distribution, like the feed or whatever, wherever you get that package from, you can't download it from that source anymore. You have to go to this random person's GitHub repo. So you basically have to do sudo app update, sudo app upgrade, and then you have to go into the post install script and modify the source for the package so that it pulls from the GitHub repo and doesn't pull from where it says it's supposed to pull from. It was a whole pain in the ass, but I got it done. I got it done. So it's connected. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. I think I might just use it as like a remote Docker host to run things there locally in my local network. I might. It's got a decent Intel, an old Intel processor. It's got like 8 GB of RAM, so it's not like a really heavy duty computer. But I figure for a little kind of playground server, it'll work well. So that was a fun project. But that's all to say, I feel your pain when it comes to fighting Wi-Fi driver issues. Let's see, using any cloud VMs for Ubuntu. So I have one cloud VM. I have one, I guess you would call that a VPS, like a virtual server. So I have one of those. It is in Oracle's cloud because they have um, a very generous free tier. Like I think the free machine that I have running has like 24 GB of RAM. It has like 40 or 50 GB SSD, and it's free. So it was kind of a pain in the ass to get it set up. Like I actually had to contact Oracle support, and they had to help me get the thing provisioned and everything. So it was kind of a pain in the butt. But for a free VPS, it was worth it in my opinion because I don't really want to pay to run a VPS. And I think if I was going to pay to run a VPS, I'd probably do it on Hetzner. It seems like they've got really good prices for their private servers, their virtual private servers. Home music server. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Like some sort of media server. Yeah, I've heard people do that. Thing is, like, we have way too many streaming subscriptions already that we pay for, and I'm not sure where I would get all the media to put on the music server. Like, I don't have a bunch of like ripped CDs and music and stuff. Obsidian plus sync thing. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So I have the Obsidian. There's a plugin, a community plugin for Obsidian called, what is it called? Obsidian Self-Hosted Sync. Yeah. I have that set up, and that is running It's running a CouchDB database on Fly.io currently. That's currently how I have that set up. But maybe that would be a good idea for the problem is that that machine, I don't plan on exposing that machine to the internet, which I think would be an issue because I think it needs to be publicly exposable for like my phone and stuff to sync to and from it. But not a bad idea. So many things to do. Let's see, YT DLP for music and videos. It's OP Google. Yeah, so I do use YT DLP. So some of the meme videos that I make, I use YTDLP to get the video from YouTube or get the video clip from YouTube. So that's a very cool tool or utility. But I had never thought about using it to collect media. That's kind of interesting. So is that what people do? Like people who have really big Plex servers, they use something like that to... I kind of always wondered how people who have Plex servers actually get the things that they host on their Plex server without like spending, thousands of dollars to actually buy it all. Without I how do people have robust Plex servers without breaking the law? Or I guess it's more like, how do people have robust Plex servers while not breaking the law? It's funny. I have one music server for me and my dad. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. I basically all my media consumption is mostly from free or paid services, like hosted paid, free or paid services. Like we have a Netflix subscription, a Disney Plus subscription, a Prime Video subscription, an HBO Max subscription. We have and then for music we mostly use Amazon Music because we have an Amazon Prime subscription. We have way too many subscriptions. So there's probably a cost savings project here with a home media server, right? Although, man, when you start really thinking about what it takes to self-host something to replace a service that you're using, it's actually kind of involved, honestly. Been planning to upgrade my gig, was planning on M4 Mac probably this March, hopefully. Are you on Mac or Windows? So I usually run Windows. I do have a MacBook Pro that I use when I want to do Mac related things. But mostly I work on Windows and develop on Windows day to day. And I like it. I like it. I've gotten used to it. I made the switch from Mac to Windows when my kids were born. Like the first time I went to upgrade my laptop after my first kid was born, I was like looking at the prices of things, and I just couldn't get over how expensive the MacBooks were compared to if I took that same money and I spent it on like the PC side of the house. And so I was like, you know what? Like as a dad, how can I rationalize spending, a grand for 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage space when I could take that same grand over to the Windows side of the house or the PC side of the house and I could get 2 terabytes of storage and 32 gigabytes of RAM. And so after I made that switch, I've just kind of stayed on the PC train since then. I know now it's kind of hard to compare like PC hardware to Apple hardware now that Apple has like their own silicon and whatnot, but yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. It's definitely not because I like think Mac is terrible or Windows is better. I use all the OSs. I think they're all fine. They all work. You use what you like. There's pros and cons to all of them. So I don't really have a dog in that fight. Suas, I hate Apple. Okay, so you you have a definite side to pick there. That's fine. Malik Ma Malavika? Hi, what's up, Malavika? How are you? I think I said your username right. I apologize if I messed it up. Zam got no money. Well, I hope you find some money. It's hard to live your life without any money. Unless you're like a kid and your parents are still taking care of that part of your life. But man, life is hard when you don't got money. I love the terminal in Mac, to be honest. It's close to Linux. Yeah, yeah, because yeah, Mac or Linux, Mac OS and Linux are both based off basically the same OS, whereas Windows is not. Windows is a whole separate thing. So yeah, definitely the terminal experience is different in Windows than in Linux. I personally have become a big fan of using PowerShell, just because I'm on a Windows machine so much, and PowerShell is actually cross-platform now. So if you like, um, if you're open to using PowerShell, you can get PowerShell on Windows, and then you can also get it on Linux, and you can get it on Mac, and then you have the same terminal experience across all your devices. Um, I also like ZSH. Primarily I use ZSH because of OMI ZSH. Uh, so I've got that installed on all my Linux boxes and on my MacBook Pro, and I really enjoy it. Manthan, you look autistic as hell, dude. Wow, man, people be coming in here hot today. Hey, Manthan, how about you get fucked? Okay? How about you get the fuck out of here? Go bother somebody else. Mac is POSIX environment like Linux and BSD. Yeah, that's what I was trying to express. Is like Mac and Linux kind of share a similar origin. If you like Mac, you love Fedora. I've never tried Fedora. I have never tried any other Linux distro besides Ubuntu. And I've only tried Ubuntu desktop, like maybe for a week or two, and I mostly use Ubuntu on like the server distribution or the server version of it. Nikola Tesla. Windows users are gay. Well, Nikola, that's very hurtful to use gay in that way. You know, what if I said Windows users are Nikola as a way to like refer to Windows being shitty? That wouldn't be nice. We should learn to speak nicely to other humans. We have found our way into we have somehow we have hit a pocket of YouTube trolls. Because Manthan's still here. How you fin to look like a dweeb and still be so dumb? Mantham, I look at man. I don't understand people who spend their time coming to people's YouTube streams and leaving comments like that. I think you should go find someone else's stream to hang out in that might get more benefit from your interaction. Vetresalim, hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. Good to see you. SK Ubuntu, and I don't get along at all. Every install I touch goes to shit. The thing that I always fuck up whenever I install Ubuntu, or at least the server version, is I always fuck up partitioning the drive. So like whenever I finish the install, I only ever end up using like the install only uses like 40 gigabytes of whatever the drive is. Because I think there's some place in the wizard or the setup where you can change that, and I always forget to do that. So then I always end up having to resize the basically resize the file system to take the whole drive, and then I have to go on like I have to go on a Google search to be like, what are the commands that I run on a Linux server to change this every single time. Okay, well, Manthem, you're still sticking around, buddy. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in timeout. You have a nice day, buddy. Steven, why not Debian? Why Ubuntu? Well, isn't Ubuntu a Debian-based distribution? I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I'm not a Linux. Ubuntu is Debian. It says Ubuntu is based on Debian. I guess I haven't ever used. I don't even know, is Debian a distribution or is Debian some sort of... Ubuntu uses upstream Debian as the source of the distro. Okay, so maybe Debian is like a more stripped down. Yeah, I've never used it. I don't know. I literally have always used Ubuntu just because the very first few videos that I like watched and articles I read about like how to run a Linux machine were based on Ubuntu installs. So I've just kind of always stuck. It's what's familiar and what I know at this point. Ben John, this is the issue with Windows. There is command prompt, then PowerShell. Also, you could WSL as well. PowerShell commands don't work on command prompt, Ella, so I just stick with Ubuntu or Win. Yeah, but the nice thing with any terminal is you can always alias commands. So, like in my PowerShell, you know, I don't use git. I don't even know the PowerShell command to list all the files in a directory. I just use ls, and ls is alias to the proper PowerShell command. So if there's Linux-like commands that you want to use in PowerShell, you can just alias them. But I understand. Yeah, there's command prompt, there's PowerShell. They both have different flavors of commands, so I get it. Oh, Nicola's still here too. SK, use Rocky now. I have no idea what we're talking about. SK. Nicola, Ubuntu is Debian. There you go. What is that? Slide? I don't even know how to say that. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. First time I've seen you in my chat. It's either Debian, Fedora, Red Hat, or Arch. Nice. All others revolve around them. Oh, very cool. I did not know that. So you're educating me, Nicola. Git bash accept many Linux commands in Windows. It does, yeah. Although I just don't use it. If I need to do something Linux related, I just use WSL or I SSH into one of my servers and I'm in Linux land. SK, Red Hat is Fedora. Man, I'm getting the full education here from chat on all the Linux distros. Yep. Like I said, I'm not a super I'm not a super Linux power user. I pretty much, like I said, I pretty much just use it for hosting, and that's about it. That is about it. Now we're arguing about what's what in the chat. This is a very interesting pocket of chat that I've hit today on YouTube. Your live streams are awesome. I love it. Well, I appreciate that, Ben John. That's very kind of you. You're at least not you're not using derogatory terms toward me or calling me autistic or insinuating I'm fat. So I appreciate you hanging out. Which cloud are you using for hosting? I basically just have one cloud hosted server, and it's in Oracle's cloud on their free tier. So it's not like a paid machine. But I mean it's a fairly generous free tier, so it's nice for that. What matter is the desktop and the package manager AP. Oh man, oh, this is the Linux rabbit hole. I think I'm gonna exit the Linux conversation, but please, you all carry on. I just don't have a ton of I don't have a ton to contribute, nor nor do I care a whole hell of a lot. uh, let's see, we're transitioning from CoreWeave to self-hosted. What's CoreWeave? Is CoreWeave like a serverless CoreWeave? CoreWeave is an American AI cloud computing company based in Livingston, New Jersey. So it's like a public cloud, a smaller public cloud. It looks like. Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's definitely like I understand the value of hosting things in the cloud. Obviously, there's a lot of benefit to doing that, particularly when you need to scale vertically and horizontally, programmatically. But if you're not one of these hyperscaler companies, right? If you're kind of running a smaller kind of digital universe or infrastructure, the self-hosting is actually kind of compelling when you start running the numbers, right? I mean, reading DHH's blog on that stuff has been kind of eye-opening. A Linux a day keeps Steven away. It's not that I don't like Linux, it's just I just couldn't give when it comes to like talking or having conversations about like which thing is better than the other thing, and like I don't know, it's not like it's just like who gives a shit, right? It's like what you like, use what you like. Hey, thanks for the subscription, man. I appreciate you. Um and thank you for the subscription. 2 subscriptions in a row. Appreciate you guys. Um Also, I forgot to put the chat up, so I should probably put that up, shouldn't I? Yeah, I just am like, like everyone's entitled to. It's like the editor wars thing. It's like, mm, sorry, I was in the middle. I know I was in the middle of a sentence, and then I just kind of trailed off, but something interrupted me. Linus Torvalds, may God bless your soul. Yeah, I mean, dude, fuck. He's obviously like not horribly. What am I trying to say? He is obviously an incredibly smart human being, right? Like just like the contribution that he's made to the world, right? I mean, just think of the impact that the Colonel has had on the world. But some of the stuff he says, some of the ways he like interacts with people and stuff is pretty fucking wild. Like I'm thinking if we work together, like if me and Linus Torvald work together, it would probably end in a fist fight because he's very opinionated and I'm very opinionated. and I don't mind speaking my mind, and he doesn't mind speaking his mind. And sometimes when he speaks his mind, he says some like pretty like aggressive shit. And yeah, I don't know. I'd probably just be like, okay, well let's go to the mats and roll around. Uh, uh, like it'd probably end up in some sort of Brazilian jiu-jitsu grappling session or something. I always tell my wife sometimes I wish you could settle work disputes with the Oklahoma drill. Um, I don't know how many Americans are here, so you guys may not understand that reference, but the Oklahoma drill is basically a tackling drill from American football. And yeah, sometimes I feel like the world would be a better place if we could settle our disputes that way. Hey, we should build some projects live. It would be awesome. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done that. There's definitely been weeks where we basically use the live stream to build stuff. Like the last thing we built on stream was that Stream Shorts tool. That was the last kind of like complete thing. Um, and I'm always building stuff. Like even if I'm not on stream, there's probably some project I'm working on. I try to avoid starting things on stream or starting projects on stream that I'm gonna work on off stream because that doesn't feel fair. Like it's there's too much context loss because like oh today I spent an hour working on this and then I come back tomorrow and I'm 6 more hours down the line with it. But yeah, we can definitely find something to build on stream for sure. SK, yes, money wise and support, we can't compete with AI providers for hardware. Yeah. Could you tell many of hackers using Linux if it is true? What is reason behind it? I don't know if a lot of hackers use Windows, or I mean not Windows, use Linux. I don't know. I don't know any hackers, so I don't really know if there are hackers using Linux. I'm guessing they use Linux because it's free, it's readily available. You can install it almost everywhere. There's a lot of tools that you can use. Like if you look at like the Kali Linux or Kali Linux distribution, right? That's kind of that whole distribution is centered around security and penetration testing. Um, so that would be my hypothesis, but I don't actually know. I want to say worrying so I can be right. What do you think? Go. I love him. Period. I like the fact he's direct. Best strategy in the face of large corporations hijacking open source. Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing wrong with direct communication. I communicate very directly. My wife says I'm probably too direct most of the time, but I think when I look at some of the things people have shared online that he has written to other humans, I kind of am like, yeah, I think you're talking to other humans that way because you're behind a keyboard and there's no threat to your safety. But I think if you were to say some of that shit to I don't think he would ever say some of that shit straight up to somebody's face. Um, like the screaming, yelling email messages that people share of him. I'm like, I don't know, man. I like, I always think of like in terms of like my sons. You know, like that's the standard I use a lot of times when I'm looking at other people's behavior. When I'm looking at my own behavior, I'm usually thinking like, is this how I would want my son to act or show up in the world or treat other people? And yeah, it's just not how I would do it. But that's the benefit of the world. I mean, it's the benefit of free will. Everyone can live their life the way they want. Ben John, hey, gotta go. As always, love your content. You are awesome. Keep rocking. See you on the next one. God bless. See you, Ben John. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you. Super kind. Well, mostly it's because low-level network operations are not too abstracted. Some people just do not read the room behind a keyboard or in real life. This is true. Some people don't read the room, but I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of people I interact with on the internet who are jerks and assholes. However, when I go out into the real world and I interact with human beings face to face, people are far less likely to be jerks and assholes to your face. I mean, that's professionally and personally. Like, there's just something about being behind a keyboard over. I'm just not picking up what you're putting down. Also, I think OBS just disconnected, and now OBS is reconnecting. Huh, that's becoming a thing. I'm wondering why OBS is starting now to regularly drop my connection. That's a new thing. He is cool because he screams. Yeah, I don't really have much respect for people who can't control their emotions. Like even like I played football growing up. Football was my sport, still is. I mean, it's like for me personally, it's like God, family, football. Like in terms of things I love and feel very passionately about, and um, like some of my best and most favorite football coaches were the coaches that were not the yellers and the screamers. Like I don't think you necessarily have to yell or scream to get your point across or to motivate other people. You look at you look at a coach like Tony Dungy, who was the head coach for the Indianapolis Colts and played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a coach who just he got the best out of his players. He had a very successful career, but he was not Paul Bear Bryant. He was not a ass chewer type of coach. So I just don't think it's necessary. Sorry for bad English. I am ricking or soccer. Well, I mean, your English is fine to us, but it's just like some of the words are spelled funny and like run together. And I'm not just I'm not saying this to like tell you to fix it. I'm just saying that because I want you to know that I'm not trying to like ignore your messages. It's just I can't understand some of them. What do you think of a CLI maker made in TypeScript that produces correctly typed command action function signature as the user is adding argument definitions? Oh, interesting. So you're talking about some sort of almost like a declarative CLI framework of some type where the user defines a command, the user defines the arguments to the command, and then your code generates, I guess, just the function call. It provides a validation/conversion pipeline at runtime that mirrors the type safety. I mean, it sounds like an interesting project. Not sure if like there's a big need for that, but it sounds like an interesting project. I think I haven't written many CLIs in TypeScript. Almost all the CLIs I've written have been in .NET for the most part, just because C#'s the best programming language. Which I'm just kidding. I think C# is my favorite programming language, but TypeScript is fine too. The CLI framework that I've seen used a lot in the JavaScript/TypeScript ecosystem is, I think, Commander. Let's see, TypeScript Commander. It's like a Commander JS. It kind of has like a builder pattern to it, which is pretty nice. Kind of a fluent API. But I don't know how yours would differ from that. But could be useful. Some people might find it useful. Or if you just want to build it because you're interested in it, go for it. Osher, hey man, how are you? I'm good, Osher. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Suicide, yeah, Commander JS. That's what I was thinking of. Hello, Ducky Dev. How you been? Good to see you. See, but you have to provide your own boilerplate for types, validation, conversion. This one does it automatically. Yeah, man, I say go for it. Yeah, if you want to do go for it. Like I said, I don't know what the demand would be for it. I'm not sure that like I would be a user of it, but it sounds like a cool project. I think there's something to be said that, when you have an idea Actually, I just had this experience with some videos that I want to make. So I think there's something to be said about when you feel compelled to make something purely for the sake of making it, to get it out of your head and into the world. That's a completely viable reason to do something, to make something, to create something. Suhas, what do you think of H1B thing and Trump? I think the H1B thing is Trump, President Trump, trying to score political points with his base, who very much cares about people tackling the immigration policy. I don't know how effective of a policy the H1B $100,000 fee will be. My suspicion is that for a lot of companies, they will find a way to make the $100,000 fee make sense. That's my suspicion. I'm not sure it will have the intended effect that it stops people from getting H-1B visas, or stops companies from getting H-1B visas for people. Yeah. And I'm just not, yeah, I mean, President Trump's going to be there for another 2 years, 3 years at this point. We're almost at the end of 2025. So the next president could come in and reverse that, right? So I don't know. I understand what he's trying to accomplish, right? Like trying to make it cost prohibitive for companies to do that sort of thing. But yeah, companies are clever. Like businesses are clever. Businesses have hundreds of thousands of people in them constantly thinking about how do I do my job better so that I can be promoted or earn more money, in which case contributes to the company earning more money. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out. The data will prove whether it's useful or not. Ducky Dev, working more. I'm on that grind. Nice. Good for you, Ducky Dev. Sorry for being political. No, I don't think it's political. I think it's interesting. I mean, it's interesting to think about policies and the intended effects and will it work, won't it work? I think primarily that $100,000 fee is more of a political stunt. I'm not sure how effective or real of an impact it's going to have or how useful it's going to be. I'm not even sure I know enough to be able to make a good, intelligent prediction at this point. Suicide Redemption. Thank you, Steven. Of course, yeah. I hope you have a ton of fun building that stuff. For me, making projects is for helping the people, and mainly because of necessity as of NetGo. I marketed as a Cloudflare alternative, and it has marketed as is. I found out people hate Cloudflare. I don't know if people hate Cloudflare, but I'm sure there are people that hate Cloudflare. Honestly, actually, Cloudflare is probably getting a lot of business currently. I don't know if you guys saw, there was an X post that's kind of gone viral of the CEO of Vercel, Guillermo, posting with the Prime Minister of Israel, and so there's been this huge public backlash of people like campaigning for people to move their stuff off Vercel. And so there's like a bunch of Cloudflare content out there about how to migrate from Vercel to Cloudflare. So I'm guessing they're actually probably seeing an uptick in business at this point. But the thing I was gonna say about Cloudflare is, I think for most people, Cloudflare is just really complex, right? It has a lot of bells and whistles. And, it's kind of overwhelming. I use it to manage DNS mostly, but I would imagine for a lot of people it's kind of overwhelming if you're trying to figure out what thing do I need to do in the dashboard to accomplish what the thing is I want to accomplish. Yeah. But yeah, I understand that, making projects for other people. I mostly make projects to scratch my own itch. That's the majority of the things I do. Thompson's partner. Do I recognize you? I don't know Thompson's partner. Do you? Suhas. I think it will be a boom in Indian tech. I mean, yeah, right? Like if I guess what you're meaning there, Suhas, is if less Indian workers get hired on H-1B visas to work for American companies, that then there'll be more tech talent that stays focused building things in India, is what you're thinking? And that could be awesome, right? Like, who doesn't want more Silicon Valleys all over the earth, right? We should have lots of hubs of innovation all over the planet. Ducky Dev, but Cloudflare provides services to Israel too, and the government of Myanmar, aka the junta. Yeah, which is, I mean, that's kind of funny, right? Like, but that's, people are sort of, people don't always think holistically about their positions or stances on things, right? Um, it's like people who hate, I'm not saying like oil's great, right? I'm not saying natural gas is great, but like if you use something that's made of plastic, you can thank oil companies for that, right? It's like petroleum is a product or is an ingredient or necessary to make most objects that you interact with. So if you take a stance on one of these things, you probably should know, like you said, you should probably know if you're moving from one company to another because one company you think publicly supports one cause, you should probably figure out if the other company also supports the other cause. You probably just want to try to be consistent if you can, you know? Tokyo Dev, they are turning a blind eye on it. Yeah, I think people are just kind of inconsistent. Humans that are just that way. Hey, what's up, Gun Haz? How are you? Or Gun Haziz? I don't even know how to say it. I'm just calling Gun. What's up, Gun? My best programming boy. I don't know if I'm best at anything. Definitely not the best at programming. There was somebody in my Discord the other day that was talking about. There was somebody in my Discord the other day that said he threw together a C# editor and compiler. Like he built his own C# editor so that he could work on using C#. And I mean, obviously, I'm taking it at his word that he actually did that, but I just kind of think to myself, I am not that good of a coder because I don't even know where to start with building an editor, right? I don't even know where to start with building a compiler. um, and for someone to do all that like as a hobby project, that's wild. I'm great, thanks. How about you? Yeah, you're best for me, especially for good quick talk. Oh, good. Yeah, maybe I'm good at rambling on and on. Um, yeah, I'm good, man. Like always, like I woke up healthy. My wife woke up healthy. My kids woke up healthy. So as long as that continues to be the case, I just don't have a lot to complain about. You know, there's just not really a reason. I mean, we all have our moments, but there's not really a reason for me not to ever not be in a pretty good mood. What do you think about gradient descent? I don't know what that is. And Steven, you are better than most, LL. Yeah. I don't know, like I don't work with a lot of other people writing code or programming, so I don't really have a good way of like judging myself against other people. Obviously, I work with developers at work, but most of my interaction with them is not like writing code, you know? Like I see the code they write, you know, and I can understand more and more every day what they're doing and why they're doing it, but I'm just learning, man. I always have my student hat on. I'm always learning. I'm always a work in progress. Steven is a peak dev. Takes care of his family, works on their jobs, streams semi-frequently. Yeah. Yeah, stream. I like that last one. Stream semi-frequently. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to have a hobby, you know, have something you're interested in. And yeah, programming scratches that itch. It scratches the part of me that likes to learn and likes to progress. It scratches the part of my brain that likes to problem solve. Um, and if people will pay me to do it, great. If not, no worries. If AI takes all the jobs, I don't care. I'll still be writing code manually. I'll be the old 65-year-old guy who's still typing on the keyboard while everybody else is using their Jarvis. I don't know how I can juggle everything. I just do. I mean, the thing is, though, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to, I have my priorities. I mean, I think that's how I juggle things. I prioritize. I prioritize my family. I prioritize my day job because that's what allows me to provide for my family. And then if there's time and energy left, then I do some content or I write some code. But I don't stress myself out so much about that stuff. That's the only way. That's the only way you can do it because there's only 24 hours in a day. You're not going to be able to do it all. I can barely code and do school at the same time. Well, school is very stressful. School is time consuming. Hey, what's up, Pablo? How are you? Honestly, I'm really happy that AI exists so I can keep coding when my arms fall off from hours on the keyboard. Maybe by that time, when your arms fall off, you'll be able to replace them with like robotic arms, and then you'll never have to worry about your arms getting too tired again. It's been on my mind for like 2 years. Yeah, school. Oh, Jarvis, you mean? No. School? Yeah, school. Yeah, school is all consuming, man. Kumar, hey, food scientist, what's up? Hey, what's up, Kumar? Well, you should put former food scientist on there. Um, yeah, former. But yeah, that was my title for a while. Then my eyes will melt after looking at the screen too long. Yeah. Well, I mean, wouldn't I mean, that really is though. Like, would be a miracle of a world to live in where the ability to replace your organs, right? That this whole idea of like being able to grow new lungs or grow new hearts, and when the old one wears out, you can replace it. Your eyes wear out, you replace them. Like that would be pretty. That it sounds dystopian, right? It sounds a little bit like cyberpunk. What is that game? Cyberpunk 77, Cyber 2077. But I mean, it would be pretty cool. There'd be a lot of less suffering in the world if you had enough organs to go around for all the people who need new organs. Kumar, what are you doing today? Well, right now I'm working. Basically, I'm manual testing today mostly, which is not my favorite these days, but I do less and less of it every year, so it's not, there's nothing wrong with manual testing, and it keeps me close to the product, and I like that. I like that it keeps my product knowledge relevant and up to date, but that's what I'm doing. And then obviously like later today I'll probably do a little bit of streaming and coding on stream. I've been working on developing some content around building AI agents, so I'll probably work on that a little bit more this afternoon. I got to mow my yard at some point today. But yeah, Just kind of another weekday, man. Nothing crazy. But maybe I'm too old. I hope to be able to keep talking at the very least. Yeah. It's actually that's probably my biggest fear from a health perspective. My biggest fear would be, to acquire some disease where it robs me of my physical and mental abilities. That, having a stroke, or getting something like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, a disease like that would just be, it'd be awful. I wouldn't even like. I would prefer to like just go out than have to suffer through and make my family suffer through that experience. It's awful to lose your abilities that way. Ship of um, what is this? Yeah, I don't. I'm reading the definition and I'm having a hard time trying to understand it. But it sounds like maybe you're learning some stuff, so that's cool. Pablo, same dude. Got to prepare economically for worst case scenario. Yeah, 100%. I actually real recently have a life insurance policy that I pay for now, and that was a decision my wife and I made because for the most part I'm kind of the primary economic driver of our household, and it would be awful if something was to happen to me before I was able to, prepare the way I want to prepare for them. So we kind of, we said, well, we'll pay a fee every month and take that worry off the table. Yeah, with that I mean prepare so that family doesn't struggle when we struggle. 100%. Yeah, and I mean, that's my number one focus every day of my life is how do I secure some economic security and some financial independence for my family. And as long as I live long enough and am healthy enough, I'm confident I can achieve that. Obviously, life may have other plans for me, so that's why. Hence the insurance policy, right? Yeah. Try reading out loved ship of. Try reading out loud ship of Theseus. So basically, Google says this is a philosophical thought experiment or paradox that questions the identity of an object when its constituent parts are replaced over time. So are you basically saying if you build a ship or if you build a human, and then you replace its parts, is it the same ship and the same human, or is it a completely new one? Right? That's the idea. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of the ship, it's a different ship. In terms of a human, replacing the human's organs, yeah, I guess that becomes a different, becomes a little trickier, right? Like the essence of a human being, I don't think is necessarily in like their eyeball, you know? So maybe it depends on what part you're replacing, would be my answer, maybe. Man, we're getting really philosophical for a Thursday. What do you think? Yeah, I think for a ship, if all the parts get replaced new, then it's like a new ship. Yeah, how much can you replace? I think that's where for a human, it's where does the essence of our humanity lies. I think if you were to ask me, I would tell you it's in the brain. I think if you were to if but then the question becomes, well, can you extract that essence from the brain, right? That whole idea of like, can you upload somebody? Can you download and upload somebody, right? Like science fiction has been at that concept for a long time. So yeah, I think it's a little bit more subtle when it comes to when you're talking about replacing parts of a human. But for like a physical object, my initial take is, yeah, if you replace all the parts in a computer, it's a brand new computer. Suos, human brain plus neural net. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't understand how you would model human intelligence in something other than the brain. Like obviously there's tons of scientists around the world currently trying to figure that out, but people far smarter than me, but yeah, it'd be kind of crazy if that did one day come to pass. Pablo, but there have been brain transplants. Oh, have there really? I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's news to me. It says it's not currently approved for clinical use in humans. Oh, you're meaning like, oh, not human. I was okay. All right. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's wild. Okay, so they've done it in other biological systems. Let's see. Oh, he did a partial, so it looks like in 1982 somebody did a partial one in mice. Uh, Pretty wild. Yeah, I don't think it would. I think if you were just to wholesale swap those parts of a human in and out, I don't think you would. I don't think you would have. What do you think about CRISPR? I think CRISPR is awesome. Yeah, Jennifer Doudna. I actually read the book, the biography, um, about her. Um, I love the scientists that behind. I love reading and learning about the scientists behind the science. But yeah, CRISPR is amazing technology. Um, I mean, that was stuff like CRISPR. When did that happen? CRISPR discovery. What date was that? Yeah, 2012. So I went to I went to college in 2011 and my degree was in biochemistry. So I remember like being in classes talking about these concepts and discussing these ideas, right? And I remember when the paper got published and professors talking about like all of the breakthroughs and the advancements that this was going to unleash. And granted, when scientists say that something is going to release breakthroughs and advancements, they're not talking about like a 12-month Apple product release cycle, you know? They're talking about like scientific breakthroughs and innovations on like a scientific timeline, right? Which is more in the thing of like years and decades. Um, the public often doesn't like that. But yeah, it's a pretty amazing piece of technology. Yeah, partial brain implants, that is very trippy. Super super trippy. Hey, Opie, stop that. Opie, come here. Come here. Opie, come here. And every time I stream, my dog just gets so anxious and all right, guys. Well, my hour's up. I think I'm going to wrap up the last few test cases I'm on, and then I think I'm gonna actually take a break and walk down and get another bag of coffee since I'm out of coffee. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This was a fun stream. We had a lot of good conversation. I always love it when you guys pepper me with questions. That's good stuff. Suhas 12 years. It's like 10 years. Yeah. I'm glad CRISPR would be very cheap and effective for when I get old. Can we see the dog? Oh yeah, we can see the dog. Opie, come here. Let me show you off. This is my wiener dog. He's an old guy. He's like 12, 13. No, not 12. Like 11? I don't know. I think he's younger than that. My wife is the one who keeps track of his age. All right, I'll see you guys. You guys have a good day. Bye, Arvin. Bye, Ducky Dev. Bye, Suhas. Bye, Pablo. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Bye.